What all does it include? What is Startup Weekend? Who's it for? And why should people be interested in it?
So Startup Weekends are international events. They've happened so far in 160 or so countries. Again, this will be the third one that's in Santa Fe. It'll be the 20th one or so that's been in New Mexico. And all Startup Weekends, the format is pretty much the same. Anyone who registers can give a pitch, a 60-second pitch on Friday evening to the crowd of people who are there to either pitch their own ideas or become members of a team. 60 seconds is not a very long time, so we give you the tools, a brief kind of coaching on what the 60-second pitches should look like.
Nice, okay.
And then after all the people who wish to pitch have done their 60-second pitch, then teams form. And the team formation process is very neat. It happens the same way everywhere, and it's very organic, and it seems impossible that something like that would work, but it works every time. And it's just people, for the most part, people gravitate to the ideas that they like the best. And then team, if your idea maybe doesn't have someone who is a supporter of it, or it didn't reach its critical mass, you don't think you have enough people to really go through the weekend, then you can join another team. And maybe it's an idea that lends well to your idea. Maybe it's completely different, you just think you have something you can add to that team. And then those teams, for the most part, stay the same throughout the rest of the weekend. So they work all day, the remaining time on Friday, all day Saturday, and all day, for the most part, up until the late afternoon on Sunday. And it culminates in a final, more polished pitch at the end, and there's a winner chosen by a group of judges. And this year we have a great group of judges that we're still getting finalized, but they include some pretty prominent investors, local investors in the community, as well as Marie Longseer, the president of the Incubator, and Alan Weber, who's super involved in all the startup and entrepreneurial
Sure, yeah, and a well-known entrepreneur himself, started Fast Company magazine. It sounds really fantastic. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the process of actually going through and starting a company.
Right.
You have an idea, you pitch it, you put a team together, you have to find ways for everybody to work together. You hone the idea, you refine it, and you come back and you sell it to a panel of judges.
Right, yeah. It's very much a microcosm of the way that it actually works in the real world.
Very cool, very cool. How many people usually come out?
We had right around 60 the first time, and then we had a little over 30 the second time. So our sweet spot is right around 30 to 45 people.
Excellent. Okay, very cool, very cool. And who are some of the past folks who have won Startup Weekend?
So in Santa Fe, we've had, Santa Fe so far has a great track record. So a lot of cities or communities will do these, and it's fun to do, and someone wins, but it's difficult to move forward afterwards. But Santa Fe, as a testament to how strong the community is, these companies have lasted afterwards.
So there are actually companies that exist now that got started through the Startup Weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first one that won, the very first Startup Weekend, was a company called Sportscast, and they continue to thrive. They have a permanent office space now in the Incubator, and they've gone through the accelerator program down in Albuquerque, ABQID. They've been to South by Southwest. They're going and raising investment dollars. And the second Startup Weekend, we had an unusual dual-track system where there was one team that won the grand prize, or the traditional Startup Weekend path, and then there was another team that won the social enterprise track.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we had Gary Shea, who won for USB, Daisy Chain USB.
Yeah, who I think we had on the show.
Right, yes. Yeah, you had Andre and Gary on the show last time I was here. And Gary now is working hard on that. He's part of an accelerator down in Albuquerque now, the CNM Stimulus Accelerator. And Andrea, I'm sure you know, she's a big part of the scene now. And her idea, she's still working on it, the ostrich farm, the sustainable ostrich farm in New Mexico.
Tall Foods, right? Yeah, right. Absolutely. But you don't have to have a business idea necessarily in your head to come and participate in Startup Weekend, right?
No, a lot of it, it's about 50-50 of people who want to pitch, and then the opposite of that is people who just come because they want to be part of a team. So people who have talents to lend, who are programmers or engineers, or have a lot of experience in marketing or other business-related things, can come just to see what idea strikes them the most, and then become part of that team.
Yeah.
And then, or if you have an idea to pitch, you can do that as well.
Nice.
Obviously. So I know at the last startup weekend we had 25 pitches.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So the majority of people at the last one pitched an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like a really fascinating way also to just get to know some of the people around Santa Fe who are movers and shakers, who are making things happen, putting ideas out there, failing, coming up with something else, coming back and trying again.
Exactly, yeah. That's so the beauty of it, they tell you a lot of things in books about how you're supposed to start a company and what the entrepreneurial journey is supposed to look like. And this is you learn it all by doing it. There is some academic underpinning to it, but for the most part, you're just there. The organizational staff helps you along with certain things, format-wise, and then we have coaches and mentors that come and meet with every team, both Saturday and Sunday, and they're all experts in different fields, and who have started companies before, who have invested in companies before. And then the final pitch, too, the people you're pitching to are active investors in companies.
Yeah.
So even if you don't get money from them, they're certainly people who you want to have on your side or in your phone.
It's our own local Shark Tank of investors and financiers. And
right. It is very similar in a way to Shark Tank.